Washington, D.C. According to three persons familiar with the plan, President Joe Biden is scheduled to make his long-delayed announcement on Wednesday regarding his decision to cancel up to $10,000 in federal student loans for many Americans and to postpone payments until January. Liberals have put pressure on Biden to extend more comprehensive assistance to hard-hit debtors, while moderates and Republicans have questioned the fairness of any generalized forgiveness. The wait for Biden's decision has just increased the expectation for what even his own advisors admit is a position where there is no way to win politically. The individuals discussed Biden's anticipated announcement under the condition of anonymity. The Biden White House is known for making last-minute decisions, but the delay on student loans in particular illustrates the difficult task he faces in keeping a major campaign pledge. Millions of Americans will likely have their student debt completely erased under the idea, and millions more would likely have at least half of it erased. Federal student debt in the U.S. has risen steadily for years and currently exceeds $1.6 trillion. According to the most recent federal figures, more than 43 million Americans have federal student debt, with roughly a third owing less than $10,000 and more than half owing less than $20,000. After Biden returns from his vacation in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, the White House was scheduled to make the news on Wednesday. For a wider revelation, the administration briefly contemplated higher education institutions in the president's state, but they ultimately scaled back their intentions. As he competed with more radical Senators Elizabeth Warren, Democrat Massachusetts, and Bernie Sanders, Independent Vermont, who had suggested cancellations of $50,000 or more during the 2020 primaries, Biden was originally dubious about student loan debt cancellation. Biden revealed his initial plan for debt cancellation of $10,000 per borrower, with no mention of an income cap, as he attempted to bolster support among younger voters and get ready for a general election fight against then-President Donald Trump. Even though Biden was still on his summer vacation on Tuesday, the frantic last-minute lobbying persisted. According to a Democrat with knowledge of the discussion, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat New York, who has been one of the most vocal supporters of canceling student loan debt in recent years, spoke privately with Biden and begged the president to forgive as much debt as the administration could. According to the Democrat who requested anonymity to discuss a private session, Schumer made the case to Biden that doing so was the morally and financially appropriate thing to do. Democrats are hoping that by making the announcement, Biden, whose popularity has declined over the past year, would encourage younger voters to cast ballots in November. Biden will receive a lot of credit for following through on something he was committed to, said Celinda Lake, a Democratic pollster who worked with Biden during the 2020 election, despite the fact that his plan is more limited than what he initially suggested during the campaign. Some supporters had already prepared themselves for disappointment. Derek Johnson, president of the NAACP, which has fiercely pushed Biden to take more decisive action, warned on Tuesday that if the reports are true, we've got a problem. He made a point of pointing out that black pupils have heavier debut loads than white students. In his words, President Biden's decision on student debt cannot be the most recent illustration of a program that has failed black people, especially black women. This is not how you should treat black people, who participated in record-breaking voting turnout in 2020 and contributed 90% of the vote. Trust in politics, the government, and our system is at issue. It also has to do with having faith in the person, in this case, President Biden. Student loan forgiveness adds an additional tailwind to an already improved position with young people, according to Della Volpe, when combined with worries about tightening abortion laws and Trump's return to the political stage. The Republican National Committee denounced Biden's anticipated speech on Tuesday, branding it a handout to the rich that unfairly places the responsibility of paying for the wealthy's higher education on lower-income taxpayers and those who have already repaid their student loans. Representative Kevin Brady, Republican Texas, the chair of the House Ways and Means Committee and the top Republican, wrote in a tweet on Tuesday, "My neighbor, a detective, worked 3 jobs, including selling carpet, and his wife labored to make sure their daughter earned a fine college degree with no student debt." Big giving up. Now that their taxes are been paid, who is left with student loan debt? Federal loan servicers, who had been ordered to withhold billing statements while Biden thought things over, are displeased with his protracted deliberations.